So if we go back 5 years, Ben would have been a junior at North, playing soccer and on the varsity team and running track with varsity, and just enjoying being a teenager. Has always had some challenges.
Great student, though, in terms
Yeah,
of
incredibly.
very smart.
Very smart. And, just sort of making many of the traditional mistakes you expect a kid who's getting ready to go to college and finding his own independence. So nothing other than he battled mental health for as long as he's basically been around. So then, we get through that. We get him off to college. He went to UK. Was double majoring in psychology and business.
And this was when COVID was going on.
Right.
So the first year of college was kind of isolated. He was in the college dorm or, college living, but still all the students were really isolated. So.
Yeah, and I think that took a toll on him.
I think
There's
so too.
No question about that. I think he was more excited about the freedom and the interaction that college brought, and then found himself stuck in a room basically for 2 semesters. So, let's fast forward a little bit. He started to run into some challenges. We got him some, and this will come full circle as we get into the conversation, but we got him some mental health help at a place in Mason, Ohio called Linda Center of Hope, which specializes in people who are really struggling. It's inpatient. He was there for 7 weeks. The reason we're probably chatting is because we were just blown away by the fact it was $10,000 a week and you could get no insurance coverage for it.
And it was hard to even get in a place. So, when somebody's dealing with mental health, usually the timing is so critical. So trying to find care. I'm in the industry in a off way, like in the wellness space for my job. So I had contacts. A lot of people don't have resources and certainly don't have the financial resources to afford $10,000 a week. But we were willing to do whatever it took to have him, have some sort of intensive therapy that we felt he needed.
Yeah, and he left there 7 weeks later, better than he's ever been. So now we're it's October of 22. Goes back to UK, much more confident in the fact that he knew he was different. He knew he had challenges. He wasn't alone, but still facing many of the same challenges that he'd faced before. But I think more complete in his own skin. And that, for a while, we had almost like a honeymoon period. And then, unfortunately, in Father's Day 23, I got a phone call at 4:20 in the morning from UK Medical Centre saying that he jumped off a building and committed suicide. So,
And we really, I think that the doctors that we spoke to at the Linner Center really said, Ben he was so smart, he outsmarted some of them on some of the testing that he did. And I think, when he came home from that, we did weigh the options, like, does he go back to college? Does he stay home? But the idea for him, he weighed the pros and cons. And for him, his life was at college, and we couldn't just keep him locked up forever here or in intensive therapy forever. So he did have therapy.
Yeah, and unless you knew, you would have had no idea. That's the problem. He could have carried on a conversation with you. He worked at Malone's. He had friends all over the place.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, who's a nurse. He was certainly well settled, but was always one dark moment away from potential disaster. And unfortunately, that's what happened in the wee hours of that Sunday morning. And 5 days later, we had him cremated, and then we had a service which was amazingly well attended. We had 500 people at St. Aloysius in Pee Wee Valley. And I gave the eulogy, and in a moment of Neil Stratfordism, I said I'm not going to let his death be in vain, and I'm going to make sure that we do something for his legacy. So that led us to the foundation in the winter of 23 of Ben's Bright Horizons, Ben's Stratford's Mental Health Foundation, DBA, Ben's Bright Horizons. And off we went.
Yeah, the idea there was, while we could afford it, definitely put a crunch, but we could afford the care that he needed. We wanted other people to have the financial resources. So our foundation was really to provide financial resources to those young adults. So we really wanted to focus on like 16 to 24, where they're going through that uncertain time in their life, to be able to kind of help them, through the financial side of things, and provide resources for them. And so that was kind of, there's lots of mental health foundations out there, but ours focuses on young adults and raising money to give them support that they need. And it's really morphed into something even more than that.
Well, we had great expectations, but no real plan.
Yeah,
right?
we just were like...
So I got together with some friends, and we're members of Hunting Creek up here, and, I wanted to do a golf event. Ben loved playing golf. The last time I saw him was at his 21st in Vegas. We were together, just him and I, and we played golf and had an absolute blast. He was born on the 18th. He died on the 18th. There's 18 holes of golf. So there just seemed to be a natural...
His soccer
number was 18. So we met with the club and we decided to do a golf outing and silent auction. So again, this would have been August of 24.
So within a year, we had a big event planned.
Yeah, we raised, or we cleared $140,000. This year we're going to come close to doubling that. And we've started a cohort program in St. Louis with non-profit, and I'll let Carol's sort of driven that boat, so I'll let you chat a little about it.
There's a wellness center called Palm Health in St. Louis, and I've been doing work with them since they opened in 2017. And it's an integrative wellness center that has a nonprofit arm called Anthropedia, and it's led by renowned psychologists, and they put together a program called the Bright Horizons program that we are now helping to fund. And it's a 6-day, we're calling it a retreat, but 10 to 12 young adults go through it at a time for 6 days. And it's really a reset for those who are struggling in that period between, during high school, between college or just out of college, not knowing what to do with their life, feeling lost. It gives them insight into themselves. And it's a real unique program. The first one already went in May, and it was a group of young girls who went through it. And we've had really great results and just amazing feedback from these young adults who've gone through the program. The second one will be in July. I think it's the 14th to the 18th.
3 weeks.
And there'll be a couple from Louisville attending. And it's just a really great program. Not, super medical focused. Lots of, they do a personality test. They do one-on-ones with the psychologist. They use non-traditional therapies like, some biohacking and infrared saunas and things like that. And it's a 6-day, organization that with like-minded people. And hopefully they come out of that with some tools then to kind of move forward.
Yeah, and it's not the end of the road once they get out of the program. There's continuing help. But, people ask me all the time, why St. Louis? And the simple answer is I'm better at raising money than I am being a doctor.
And we had a connection with some doctors there.
And so our long-term goal, and one that Anthropedia is completely on board with, is to have a building and a center in Louisville.
Called Bright Horizons.
So that's the goal.